Hey everyone, it's Jess, and I hope you found your favorite little corner, maybe even clutching that juice box, because today we're going to talk about breath. Not in the stuffy, let's meditate like a monk way, but the kind of breath that made us giggle as kids. Remember those classic games like Blow the Feather? You'd take a big dramatic inhale and puff as hard as you could, trying to keep that wonky floating feather up in the air. Or maybe bubble breathing, where, you'd blow bubbles as slow as possible to see whose could last the longest before popping. Those simple, silly games weren't just about passing the time on rainy days. They were these, hidden training grounds for calming ourselves, for finding joy, even for learning focus, though, trust me, I didn't care about mindful anything when I was 6. Now here's the wild thing. These same games have a place right here in dementia care. I might be biased. I've tried just about every trick in the book over my years, but sometimes the best ways to break tension are the ones we've forgotten. For caregivers and folks living with dementia, grabbing a feather or pretending to hold a dandelion, anything light and playful, can turn an edgy, spiraling moment upside down. You're grounding both of you in something shared and simple. That's the magic, It levels the field. Suddenly, caretaker and cared for get to be kids again, just for a little moment, and breathe together. Let me tell you about Mrs. Reese. Oh boy, she could have a big stormy meltdown over, honestly, the smallest thing, like the wrong slippers. One time, neither of us could find her favorite house shoes, and the tears start rolling. The tension felt like a balloon about to pop. So I took a breath, literally, and I said, "Let's pretend it's your birthday and blow out the candles." She just stared at me for a second like, "Really, Jess?" But I played it up, made my hands into a cake, and did the whoosh with a giant imaginary candle. She cracked up, totally forgot about the slippers, and joined me. Big theatrical blow, cheeks out and everything. After that, laughter melted the meltdown. That's the power of a little breath play, turning stressful moments into true connection. Okay, so where does this fit with the way we do care, especially with dementia? That's where my stage-based care model, or SBCM, if I'm not tripping over the acronym today, comes in. SBCM uses this idea of retrogenesis, a big fancy word for walking dementia backwards through the developmental stages of life. So, games and activities should match the person's current mode, not their age, but their experience. For breath play, this means picking something that feels natural and familiar, more childlike when words or logic aren't working. A huge piece of this, validation therapy, means you name the feelings you see. You seem upset, or, wow, this feels scary. Sometimes words don't land, though. That's when something super basic, like a playful breathing exercise, can open a door. It's like you're saying, "I see you, let's breathe together," when regular talking doesn't connect. Want to try one? Let's do a balloon breath, my favorite, especially for early and mid stages. So picture a balloon in your hands, stretched out. We're both going to take a big breath in, use your arms to inflate the balloon nice and wide, and then exhale slowly, letting your arms float down as if the air is leaving that balloon. If you're with someone, let them lead or just move together. Sometimes people with dementia will giggle or mimic, and that's all you need. It resets the mood, releases some tension. You'd be amazed how simple, gentle repetition like this fits right into the whole SBCM, meet them where they are philosophy. So this brings me to something I talk about a lot with families, the difference between the remembering self and the experiencing self. In dementia, memory, the remembering self, gets all shaky. But the experiencing self, that's the part living in this exact second. That's what the ESMD, or Experiencing Self model for dementia, is all about. Building care strategies rooted in now, because right now is where joy, comfort, and maybe a little peace can still live. Rituals matter here. Something as quick as 5-finger breathing, where you trace up and down your fingers, breathing in and out, or just tracing a heart in the air together, can spark an island of calm, no matter how foggy memory is. These tiny shared actions, honestly, they linger somewhere inside, even if tomorrow neither of you remembers doing them. I'm thinking about a granddaughter I helped recently. She was trying to connect with her grandmother, who didn't really speak anymore. We did a simple 5 breaths together ritual, just sitting there, palms touching, breathing in and out, nice and slow. No words, but halfway through, you could feel the connection snap into place, fingertips squeezing, a tiny smile. It lasted like 10 seconds, but it was a genuine, deep moment that stuck with both of them. These are the kinds of golden seconds we can create, even when memory slips away. All right, our little recess is up. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you dust off some playful breath games this week for your loved one and yourself. There's more to share, always, so stay tuned and never forget, connection happens in these tiny, joyful moments. See you next time on 5 Minutes Recess with Jess.